What's up, guys? Welcome to another fire episode of Rad Boys Club with your hosts,
Leo Baldiga.
I'm Carter Chapman. Today we have a couple new things to talk about. We're doing an album review for a new Brockhampton mixtape, I guess, technically.
Yeah, mixtape, album.
Weird thing, All-American Trash.
Yeah.
But first, before we get into that, we're going to do a new segment called Today in America. Which is kind of a current events thing.
Yeah.
So I guess the first thing that you and I both wanted to talk about, well, we'll go into the heavier stuff later, I guess. First off, our producer, Matt Dunn, is eating stinky chips in the studio again.
Yep.
It happens. You know, you just got to live with it.
Yep.
Secondly, last night was a big night in American sports. The Red Wings started their newest playoff campaign.
Yep. Against Tampa Bay Lightning. Yeah. They lost, though.
Yeah, they did lose 3-2, but they are, starting their campaign for the longest active playoff streak in the four major American sports.
25 years. It's crazy.
Me and all of my cousins have never seen the Red Wings not miss the playoffs, which is kind of crazy to think about.
Yeah.
No other team in any other sport is really that continually dominant, as far as I would say.
Well, I wouldn't say dominant.
Yeah, half the league does make the playoffs in the NHL, but at the same time, it still
25 years is pretty darn good.
Yeah, it takes some good consistency. I mean, there are teams that were, serious playoff Stanley Cup contenders last year that didn't even make the playoffs this year. Like the Bruins didn't make the playoffs, so it goes to show that there's a level of consistency in the management.
Yep.
The next thing is, last night was a big night in the NBA. It was the last night of the regular season.
Yep.
The Pistons, our local team here in Detroit, managed to continue their sweep of the Cleveland Cavaliers. I think they've only I think they've beaten them every time they've played this year. And that's who they have in the first round of the playoffs, too, which is good. Basically, Stan Van Gundy, the coach of the Pistons, has set up the Pistons defense to shut down LeBron so that the Cavaliers can work. It's basically like the bad boys with Jordan. They are made to beat their nemesis.
Nemesis. But also in the NBA was Kobe Bryant's last game.
Which was interesting. You didn't watch it, but I did. He started the game off horrifically slow. He bricked like 4 or 5 shots in a row. Like the Lakers couldn't get on the board. And then they basically just funneled Kobe the ball the entire... excuse me. They basically funneled Kobe the ball the entire night, and he attempted something crazy like 55 shots on the game, but he dropped 60 points, which was pretty impressive. He had a game-winning shot and then had to make 2 free throws, which put him up to 60 points. So that was really cool to see. The Staples Center was full.
Great way to go out.
Yeah. And then again last night in, I guess, somewhat bigger, more important news was the Golden State Warriors getting their 73rd win on the season,
beating out the 95 Bulls.
Yeah, 95-96 Bulls, who only had 72 wins.
Yeah.
So they're now the most consistent team in basketball. Steph Curry went off in the first quarter. The Warriors had another high-scoring game. I think they had dropped 80 points by the end of the third, or 100 points by the end of the third.
And the score was like
130 to like 111, I think. And Steph didn't even play in the fourth quarter because they never play in the fourth quarter. He has the best stats of any player in the league right now and plays about a third of the time, which is really impressive.
Yeah, his 3-point average is just
it's ridiculous. He's averaging over 35 points per game. The man's an animal. And the Golden State Warriors seem to still be really good even when he's hurt. Draymond Green, Andre Iguodala, Klay Thompson, they kind of fill in the cracks when Steph isn't around. So they're going to go far in the playoffs. It wouldn't surprise me if they can sweep everyone they play in the playoffs. Yeah. I mean, they might get taken kind of deep in the finals, but the Spurs can maybe do something, but I still see them potentially making it through the first 2 rounds without even taking an L, which would be pretty impressive.
Yeah, definitely.
So now on to some heavier current event news. We are going to talk about the Ian Connor situation.
Yeah.
Which is very cringy and very ugly. For those of you who don't know, Ian Connor is a protege of Kanye West and A$AP Rocky. He was Wiz Khalifa's stylist at one point.
Yep.
He is very famous.
Yeezy Season 1 coordinator.
Yeah, very big in Yeezy Season 1, very big in Yeezy Season 2, big in Yeezy Season 3 again. He has been accused now by, 2 women?
Yeah.
Of sexual assault. One girl wrote a very long post about it on a WordPress kind of describing what happened and the legal action she's taken.
Yeah, calling for other women to come out and
saying that he's done this with other people, but other women won't speak about it. The way that she explained it did kind of sound like something that Ian would do, but at the same time, she made it seem as though he chased after her a lot, which isn't something that his persona really plays off on social media. But it,
social media is what he puts out there.
Yeah, so you don't really know what he actually does. At first, I was a little more skeptical because she hadn't actually put up anything about her contacting police, even though she said there was no real proof for anything. And she'd waited, which also makes the case go a little bit more difficult. But a Hypebeast article confirmed yesterday that there is a police report filed against him. And
that police are now looking into it again after.
Yeah, the case is still open. So it's really interesting. Ian went on a very long Twitter rant yesterday, kind of talking about it. He denied. He said that he himself had never sexually assaulted someone. He does not condone that type of activity.
Yeah. But at the same time, there's a police order against him.
So we'll see what happens. We'll keep you guys updated. So really, really messed up scenario. I hope that it didn't happen, not because I care about Ian, but just for the sake of the girl. I hope that she actually didn't have to go through that, because that would be horrible. So we'll see where it goes.
If it did happen, he should probably
serve some real time.
Yeah.
Lil Yachty and a couple other rappers are taking his defense already. I don't even think John Ross, his main protege, has even spoken on the subject on social media at all.
Neither is Kanye or ASAP. So we will see.
We'll see what happens. So now on to some more lighthearted stuff.
Yeah.
The Brockhampton All-American Trash Review mixtape. Leo, this is more your thing than mine, so I'll let you take it over from here.
All right, yeah. So Brockhampton is a group rap collective out of Southeast Texas, Corpus Christi to be exact, and they call themselves the All-American Boy Band. They're it's like 6 or 7 different guys, but they're kind of headed by Kevin Abstract, real name Ian Simpson. And they really, really throw in a lot of genre experimentation into their stuff. There's a lot of different styles of rap, pop, R&B. It's really, really, there's a wide variety of stuff.
In a way, it's the mix of genres on this mixtape reminded me a little bit of Because of the Internet, how there's a mix of a lot of things. There's a lot of influences from other artists that you hear in the set are little bits and pieces.
Because of the Internet, also the internet, like Ego Death, as in Sid the Kid.
There was a couple songs that were mildly Outkast reminiscent, like a little bit of AT Aliens on the vocal and the keyboard usage. And there was a ton of Wolf era Tyler the Creator influence on this.
Influence, totally.
Like insane.
All the chords, the drums, totally
the synths.
Odd Future.
I really did enjoy this album. It was kind of weird the way it was on SoundCloud. It was posted as one track on SoundCloud.
But you could download it on their website. We'll put a link in the description.
Yeah, and on their website, it has the mix of just names. If you click the names of the songs, it'll start playing them, which is how I listened to it the first time, so I could go song by song. But it had its moments. It has a very funny intro that's supposed to be a radio show,
radio
I think.
MCs introducing the group, or at
a
show or something.
Yeah, like an MC. It's really funny. That track is called Encino.
Goofy. They name off all the names of the guys, and they
talk about them a little bit.
And then the second track, Ben Carson, you noted that it sounds a little bit like Jamba, and I would not disagree.
I thought it sounded exactly like Jamba, but not in a bad way. It wasn't like they ripped it off, but it just had a very similar feel to the song.
Yeah, it's got a heavy bass to it with funny little tinkly
buzzy
bells
synths
and stuff. Yeah.
It was really good. Flow was good on it, I thought.
Oh yeah, totally. Great vocal delivery.
Yeah,
overall.
really good vocals on it. The next track is Michigan, so shout out One Time, because that is our home state. Kind of a smooth, silky
R&B jam almost.
Yeah, it's like a love song. This is one of the songs that I noted kind of reminded me of Outkast, and it was really dreamy and a mellowy, kind of flowy sound. It was good, nice classic standard love song. Everyone has one. Everyone needs one.
Absolutely.
So that was a good one.
Infatuation is the next song. It's got a synth song. That's probably one of my favorite songs.
Yeah, it was good.
On the tape, it's there's a little bit of rap, a little bit of singing. It's just a great I'd call it almost like JT.
Yeah, and there's some really good falsetto on it on this album at various points that kind of helped. I think it's kind of what maybe bridged the gap for me. We think of Because of the Internet a lot, because Gambino uses a lot of falsetto on that entire album, which is an album that I've listened to a lot this year for some reason. It sounds 2 years old now.
Yeah.
Is
it really?
3 years old. Sorry.
3 years old.
Yeah. Kauai, and Stone Mountain are now 2 years old. I have it on CD in my car, so I just occasionally pop it in and listen to it. So I did enjoy the mix of this. I thought this was just going to be like a trap mixtape at first, because the only song I'd ever heard going into this was Flip Mo, which is a trap song with like these like shaky, almost like Danny Brown style vocals.
Yeah, definitely.
It's good though. The music video is pretty funny. It's like about like a burger shop. It's funny.
A burger truck. Yeah, they're like throw ketchup and stuff at each other.
Yeah,
it's very
funny.
strange. But
so after Infatuation, we have Breakfast. Which was like another synth-based analog, kind of bubbly, like round poppy sound.
Great chords, all that.
Yeah.
And then after that is Mosscliff, which is like this interlude track where it's kind of set in like a car with rain falling on the roof, and then like, there's like a radio that goes through a bunch of different Brockhampton songs,
which was very, very reminiscent of Because the Internet.
Yeah,
there's
absolutely. like Telegraph Avenue.
Yeah, that song starts almost the exact same way.
Yeah, basically, it's really, really reminiscent of that.
But it doesn't sound like it's ripping it off. That's the thing.
No,
it just kind of
it's very creative. It's very fresh. It's very original.
Yeah, and that's one thing I do like about the SoundCloud generation of hip hop artists is the fact that they don't really rip people off. They're all somewhat unique. They're like one dimensional and unique at the same time. There's a cookie cutter to them, but the cookie cutter is always a different shape. If that kind of makes sense.
That's a good analogy.
Yeah. So after that we have
Contacts, which is like this little indie pop
acoustic-y guitar song,
like ukulele jam.
Imagine Jack Johnson, but not horrible and lame. That's the best way I could explain it.
It does sound a lot like Jack Johnson in the guitar.
Yeah,
for sure.
Jack Johnson's a good guitar player. His songs are like bubblegum garbage, but
There's pretty good writing on this. It's short though. It's only like a minute 15 seconds.
A lot of songs on this album were like a minute and a half long.
Yeah,
and then you'd get the ones that were like maybe 4 minutes long, but a lot of stuff under 2 minutes, which was interesting. Don't get a lot of that outside of maybe like the punk community. Yeah. So kind of interesting in a way. Not these songs don't drag on and on and on and on.
Yeah, it moves from concept to concept pretty quickly. After Contacts is Palace, which starts off with this awesome, like, gentle clipped guitar sample, which is pretty cool. And then it's this song reminded me a lot of the Ego Death, the Internet. Lots of like floaty guitar, synths, layered vocals. It's awesome. And then that's Matt Champion and Bareface, who are the vocalists on this.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I really enjoyed it. Just another kind of really like smooth track on this album or mixtape.
It's a jam.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. So after that we have Flip Mo, which we kind of talked about, which is like a trap, like heavy bass driving song. Kind of reminds me of
a different Danny Brown, but like at the same time a little more southern. Not as
Detroit basically. And in a way, the production reminds me a little bit of Burberry Perry. In the fact that it has the high parts, but it's also got these like low, like heavy basses. It doesn't sound like Burberry Perry, but it's almost like a similar like concept.
Burberry Perry meets Odd Future.
Yeah, that's like a good way to think of it. So I'm going to scroll down so we can keep going. So after that we have
Home.
Yeah, which is Home is another dreamy like kind of Oregon-based, or not Oregon, but Oregon-based song.
Organ synths, yeah.
Pretty Tyler chords, that type of thing. It's really good though. I enjoyed this one.
Yeah,
it has its moments. Kind of a funky guitar in it too, which is cool. The singing is a little bit whiny.
Yeah, that's sometimes the vocals do get a little bit incessant on this, but I think it's just as a result of poor mixing, maybe.
Yeah, and I can't tell if the crackle on it is from the recording or if they actually added that in, but it's like it does have a vinyl like pop and crack to it, which is really weird.
At the beginning it does do that, yeah.
Yeah. So after that we have Cotton Hollow.
Cotton Hollow.
I didn't have much to say about this song.
Yeah, I like the verses.
Mix was good, verses were good. But I mean, other than that, it
kind of blends into the rest.
Yeah. Here, I'm gonna fix you up there.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
All right.
Okay, so
after that is Poison, which is a little bit of guitar.
This song is really good. I liked Poison a lot.
You really liked it?
I
kind of glossed over it.
It's got like a trippy spaghetti western guitar in the beginning, and like some spooky organ noises, which was cool. And like, these, like grungy
I guess it
vocals.
does have like a unique vibe to it a little bit.
yeah, it was good. And then finally we have Lost in Love.
Lost in Love is an awesome R&B,
Really, really good song.
really great, layered vocals, awesome chords. It's just
Harmonies,
really, really great harmonies and melodies. It's awesome.
So my overall thoughts on it was that this is what I noted. It's a mix of a Wolf era Tyler the Creator with pretty R&B and kind of some indie pop mellowy stuff, and kind of Gambino thrown in there in like a weird way. It's kind of got influences from all of those, and I enjoyed it. I would definitely continue to follow Brockhampton. I don't think they'll fizzle out. They seem to be building.
They seem to be like building more and more of a presence. Especially Kevin Abstract is coming out with an album sometime in the next month or 2 months called They Shoot Horses. But there's definitely a clear out of future inspiration in the rap and production. But I think they're honestly a lot more talented instrumentalists in production than Tyler is.
Yeah, and the other issue
especially
is
early era Tyler.
And the other issue is that I think Tyler has become a much better producer since OF Tape 2, which is the last time we heard a full collab project from them. And he's changed a lot. He was very one-dimensional before then. And
it's got like the skill and the variety of Cherry Bomb's production, but with
a little bit of a
with more
sound.
of like a posse sound.
Yeah. Overall, I'd give this maybe like a 6.5, 7 out of 10.
Yeah, I'd say that's pretty accurate.
I would recommend a listen.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what's interesting, since we've been talking about Tyler, is that Cherry Bomb and Wolf both just had their release anniversaries.
Yeah.
Wolf came out 2 years or 3 years ago.
3 years ago.
And Cherry Bomb 1 year ago. Two albums that I've listened to a lot. I listened to Wolf incessantly for like 2 years almost. I would say that
Wolf was on repeat.
Yeah, I listened, like, my favorite tracks off Wolf are all the slower, more in-depth songs, like Answer. I like the intro track Wolf a lot. Yeah, IFHY is good. Awkward is really good. Rusty, of course, is really good. Rusty's really good.
Rusty's probably my favorite song on Wolf.
The one issue I have with Rusty is every time I listen to it, it reminds me of the Wolf movie trailer that came out, which got my hopes up as a wee baby sophomore, thinking that there was actually going to be a movie made out of the album, which... If you haven't read the Noisy article about the Tyler the Creator album Conspiracy Theory, I highly recommend you do so. It's bizarre and interesting.
We'll throw a link.
Yeah, there will be a link in everything.
Yeah, it's a really, really interesting like theory about his whole
first three albums,
like chaining.
Yeah, to kind of summarize, essentially the albums take place in the mind of Tyler who's insane and has multiple personalities, and his personalities and his multiple personalities really are at a camp, and there's like love interests. If you're familiar with the song "Sam is Dead" in the music video, when you see Tyler's body die like several times, that's him killing off all of his personalities.
Yeah,
and then Wolf is kind of a prequel to the first two albums, and the three albums are kind of based around 3 therapy sessions. Then with Dr. TC, who's like the deep voice character who you hear at the beginning of most of Tyler's albums. So that's kind of interesting. Cherry Bomb, there's a conspiracy theory that Cherry Bomb does play into the other 3 albums.
Yeah.
It doesn't match up as well. And Cherry Bomb, Tyler tweeted this the other day, that Cherry Bomb only has 2 hooks on the entire album, which I never realized.
Yeah, I guess.
And that album, I thought, did very well commercially with non-previous Tyler fans, which was carried a little bit by a Kanye feature and a Wayne feature.
Yeah.
But the little Wayne feature
Smuckers is really, really awesome, though.
Yeah.
Wayne over Jazz is crazy.
One of the best things I've ever heard.
And I'm not a Little Wayne fan by any means.
No, me neither. When I was in middle school, I really loved 6 Foot 7 Foot. I don't know why. I thought that song was great, and then I
respect Wayne's hustle, but he's just not the most like talented
guy, I guess. But I appreciated it for what it was. Cherry Bomb was pretty good overall. There were some songs I found a little bit annoying on Cherry Bomb. I don't like the song Cherry Bomb itself. I liked Pilot was really good. 2-Seater is another favorite because they talk about my
perfect. And then the song he released after, like Yellow.
Yeah,
Yellow was really great.
I really like 2-Seater just because he's rapping about driving a BMW and listening to Mac DeMarco, which is like my dream, because and the fact that Mac DeMarco and Tyler the Creator are friends is like one of those things where my music taste just comes full circle in like the weirdest way ever. But it's pretty cool. If you haven't seen the music video that Tyler and Mac did, we'll link that hesitantly.
Yes,
it's from an Adult Swim show, but it's interesting. So that was, it was interesting. So I guess that about wraps everything up.
Yeah, that's about all we have.
Yeah, so this is episode 3. If you're watching this on YouTube, please subscribe, give us a like. If you have any criticism, please drop it in the comments.
Yep.
If you are on SoundCloud, follow and give this a like if you wouldn't mind. It would really help us out. So,
thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Have a good one. Peace.